What's up, bitches? I'm back. 33 of 45. While I was away, I made some new friends, and they want you to know we are the Borg. Resistance is final. Hey everybody, Dr. Deadwax, Mark, back again to make a video finally after a little bit of time, but a couple months away from making videos for the VC. I've still been watching videos, keeping up with anybody who's been contacting me via PM, and I only got 486 more videos to watch in my inbox, so I might be caught up by the time I die. Anyway, let's get started. I've got some records to show. I'm going to do Dereck's 2012 first buys. I'm not going to do all of my first buys because, as you can see, my first buys are about a foot tall, so there's about 80 things there, and I highly doubt anybody wants to sit through me showing 80 things I bought. So, got a new camera, now making films in the music room, my office, the music room, so that's good. Maybe I'll be able to make them with a bit more frequency, and they're in HD, so maybe you'll be able to see them, and they won't be all grainy and shit. So, well, this is great having a new video camera, but how do we know like somebody isn't accessing this remotely and watching me in the middle of the night?
Yeah, like Big Brother wants to come to Canada and watch someone from the vinyl community. I'm going to bed.
Night, baby. Soft kitty, warm kitty, little ball of fur. Happy kitty, sleepy kitty, purr, purr, purr. Good night, Dinko. Anyway, let's get into it. So, the first record I got, these Herbie Hancock, Speak Like a Child. It's Blue Note. This is technically this is an original pressing, but I'm not sure everybody would say that it's a true original. It's on a Unipack. Now, this came on the standard Blue Note label originally, whereas this one is on the slightly different Blue Note label, which was used for a very short period of time. It was like this is a Liberty label. The first was on the standard Blue Note Liberty label, and then the second one, this one here, is on this this variant that was used for a short period of time. It's the exact same record, like the plate, the stamper. This is the first stamper. It's the exact same stamper that was used for the other one with the A and everything. So, I mean, technically the other one's worth a bit more money, but this is the exact same record. Now, as for the music, I don't know. I don't think it's a great date. Herbie's waxing on about writing stuff for horns on here, and I don't know. For me personally, this is just an average record. Maybe something you could have on the background while you're doing something else, but it's not something you really want to sit down and listen to. Herbie's got a hell of a lot of better records. Surprisingly, the stuff that doesn't have the horns on it on side 2, it's the most interesting stuff on the record. Anyway, I paid $6 for that in near VG Plus to near mint condition. I really can't argue. It was a great buy for what it is. Next up is Dexter Gordon, The Apartment, the Dexter Gordon Quartet, and the album's called The Apartment, and it's on Inner City. And look, you can tell that I have not spent the last 2 months that I was away from the VC learning how to hold a record up. So bear with me on this. Anyway, so this is on Inner City, and let's I'll show you the Inner City label, and Dexter Gordon, The Apartment. I bought this for a friend of mine. He really likes Dexter Gordon, and he's always asking me to grab some if I see it, and I don't often see Dexter Gordon when I'm out there, but I found this, and wow, This is a stonking record. This is fantastic. If you find this record, buy it. This is great, great stuff. Dexter Gordon, Kenny Drew, Niels Henning Orsted Peterson, and Albert Tootie Heath. Great date, great set. Wow. Thankfully, my friend doesn't get back from Florida till May, so I get it for at least about another half a year. And then I'll give it to him. And maybe I'll find another one in the interim. That was $7, so super steal. I had just a great buying session. I went out for one day. I went to the stores that I always go to, and it was the new year. I didn't get out for any like Boxing Day stuff, but the owner who knows me at the one store, she said that I could have anything I wanted at the Boxing Day sale prices. So I bought like 80 records, but I spent like $200. So I'll keep going through them. Next up is Hubert Law's Crying Song. This is a promotional pressing. It's the first or second thing released on CTI. Creed Taylor started CTI, did like 6 records, kind of reinvented CTI again into the CTI we know. But this was in the first iteration of CTI, and this is a promotional copy. Don't know if I already said that. I just bought this because it was CTI. I'm not a huge fan of the flute in jazz. I don't know. I'm just not a massive fan, and there's nothing wrong with that. This is on the green CTI label. This was a radio station, and so all of the tracks that they didn't want played on the record are crossed off, and they did the same on the back of the record too. But who cares? This was $1, and wow, this is a bit of a sleeper. This is a hell of an album. I was listening to it just in the background, just cleaned it up, was enjoying it, and all of a sudden I heard Pink Floyd, and I'm like, that's Pink Floyd. And then I'm digging a little deeper because all the stuff scratched off the back of the cover and off the label that I'm not entirely sure what it was on it. And anyways, it's Crying Song from More, and then on side 2 is Cymbeline from More, and they're actually really great versions of it. And there's also a version of Let It Be that's on here, and so I would highly recommend this. I think a lot of people might know about this record, and I would say grab it. The first song, La Jean, is the weakest track on the album, so it kind of starts off slow, and then it really picks up. The next thing I got was a copy of Yes's Time and a Word. This is still in shrink. This is the back. It says it's an 1841 Broadway, but on the label it's a 75 Rockefeller. This is like a second issue. Anyways, it still sounds fantastic. It's a good record. Eventually I'll find the pressing I'm looking for, but I didn't actually have a copy of this, so I was really happy to get one that is just this clean. Just super, super clean. So anyway, that's that. The next thing I got was Led Zeppelin's Houses of the Holy. I have a copy of this somewhere. It's not my favorite Zeppelin album, but I know somebody whose favorite Zeppelin album this is, and I grabbed it because this is Robert Ludwig pressing Master Disc RL. This is considered by many to be the best pressing of this record, and although most people agree that the ATGP, which is George Pirios, that's equally as good. So if you have an ATGP, you don't need to rush out and find an RL. People say the masterings are slightly different and each has its own uniqueness, but neither really stands out above the other. But previously to this, I just had a horrible Canadian, well, not horrible, but just a dull, lackluster Canadian pressing of this. So nice to get this. Just your standard Atlantic label and nice cardboard inner sleeve. So that was really good. That was $8. Oh, and the Yes record was $6. And then finally, I got a copy of this John Coltrane on Impulse Impressions. This is a mono A42 is the catalog number. It's a mono pressing. The owner of the store that I went to, she pulled this out and she said, "You have any interest in a Coltrane album?" And I said, "Yeah, of course I got an interest in a Coltrane album." And she says, "Ah, you can have this for $1." And I said, "Awesome, man." So this is an original first pressing. Oops. First pressing on Impulse, and it's the reason why I got it for that price was it's a little scratched up, and there's a few spots where the scratches look pretty serious. They're like track long and kind of, I thought, well, maybe I'll get a half decent side out of this. It's $1, what the hell. Took it home. You can't hear any of the scratches, so it was just one of those total flukes. Came with the original inner sleeve. Dead wax information. This is a dead first pressing in mono. You can't do any earlier than this. There's a spot for like 6 to 10 revolutions where this ticks, and other than that, it is just crystal clean. So sounding like this would grade VG plus audio wise, and it would probably grade VG minus visually, and the cover would grade like a VG plus. So for $1 I did great, because this is probably $60 to $100 record in mono. Now the mono isn't, from what I've read, the mono of that, it's desirable by a lot of people, but it's actually just a fold down from the date was recorded in stereo. So it's not like it's some of the other more highly desirable mono recordings were actually recorded in mono and stereo, or so. Anyway. So that's what I pulled out to show you, and I won't make you endure the big stack, and I'll get hopefully putting up another video real soon. So have a great day, and keep the record spinning. If you believe they put a mark on the moon, mark on the moon. If you believe there's something better than Blake sleeves, then you're not that cool.